A bill to legalize medical marijuana clears its first hurdle in the Alabama legislature. It was voted out of a Senate committee yesterday. State Capitol reporter Rashad Hudson tells us what's next for the bill.
Everyone from medical experts to parents spoke for or against the medical marijuana bill. And one doctor who testified said this is not about getting high, but it's about getting well. A bill to make medical marijuana legal in Alabama is before lawmakers again.
We want to make sure that the people that have tried other modalities that aren't successful have access to this to try.
A major factor of the bill is that it doesn't allow for smoking or vaping.
It could be anything from nebulizer, but primarily it'll be ointments, tinctures, even suppositories.
It allows for 34 dispensaries around the state with the goal of treating 15 qualifying conditions. But this seems to be an issue that has the medical community divided.
People are concerned about dangers, right? And or addiction. These sorts of problems don't exist actually with cannabis.
See, this is not your grandmother's marijuana. This is much, much different. This has been manipulated.
After hearing stories of pain, the committee voted 8-1 to advance the bill. Senator Melson says his goal is to get the bill on the Senate floor for a vote by next week. Reporting in Montgomery, Rashad Hudson, WDHN.
And for more on medical marijuana, including how it has worked in Florida, you can visit our website. That's DothanFirst.com. Yesterday afternoon, an Alabama House committee approved a bill named in Anaya Blanchard's honor. The bill gives judges more discretion in denying bail to people charged with some of the most serious crimes. The bill is called Anaya's Law. The man charged in her murder was out on bond after being charged with several other crimes.
His name being on this bill is something that means absolutely everything to me because my daughter meant something and she would be fighting for this.
This is truly a public safety bill because there are individuals out there that are they are a threat to the community. Their past history shows they're a threat to the community. District attorneys are crying out for this opportunity.
The bill now heads to the House floor for a vote. And Governor Kay Ivey issuing a state of emergency after parts of the state continues experiencing major flooding. Water levels on Alabama rivers remain elevated and several flood warnings remain still in effect. The SOE comes as Governor Kay Ivey addresses state agencies to assist communities that have been affected by the rains. And history is being made in the state as the first female African-American presiding judge in Alabama. Judge Elizabeth French is the first woman selected to serve at the helm of the Jefferson County judicial system since its beginning in 1821. Judge French will begin presiding on March 1st. She will be responsible for not only hearing cases, but also assigning judges, handling administrative court duties, and ensuring the courts function properly. And an Amber Alert has been issued for a baby. Investigators have issued an Amber Alert for a missing 15-year-old little girl in Tennessee. They say Evelyn Mae Boswell, who you see on your screen there, has not been seen since sometime late December. But a sheriff's spokesman in Sullivan County says she was reported missing only this Thursday, February 18th. The spokesman says details of the case are still under investigation, including why it took so long to report little Evelyn's disappearance. Sullivan County is in the northeastern corner of the state along the border with Virginia. And moving a little bit closer to home to Georgia now, investigators there have found the remains of a Georgia woman who went missing on Valentine's Day. They say the body of 23-year-old Renita Gunn, a student at Fort Valley State University, was discovered in Crawford County Tuesday afternoon. Officials say she was last seen with DeMarcus Ludel, who is considered a person of interest in this case. They say he vandalized her car and her apartment about 2 weeks ago, and now he's under arrest, facing several charges of criminal damage to property. Officials say a deputy found Gunn's body in the woods along with the front bumper of her car.
150 yards off the roadway, he found the piece of the car, part of the car piece that we've been looking for. Found Miss Gunn laying very close to part of that front bumper.
Now, officials say that Little and Gunn did know each other and that he could face even more charges. Moving to national news on the political beat now, Roger Stone finds out his fate today. The longtime friend of President Trump is to be sentenced on numerous crimes. Meanwhile, the head of the Department of Justice says that the president's tweets on the matter has only made things harder. John Lawrence has that report.
President Trump's former informal advisor Roger Stone leaving Fort Lauderdale Wednesday on his way to Washington to receive his sentence following his convictions late last year.
We convicted him of obstructing a congressional inquiry, of lying in that inquiry, and of tampering with a witness.
Stone confirming last year that he still backs President Trump.
Do you have anything to say to Mr. Trump at this point?
Only that I support the president.
Federal prosecutors called for a 7 to 9 year prison sentence, but President Trump thought that was too harsh, tweeting it was a miscarriage of justice. Hours later, Attorney General William Barr called for the sentence to be reduced. That move resulted in all 4 federal prosecutors withdrawing from the case. And it may have been the final straw for Barr.
I do make his job harder. I do agree with that. I think that's true.
A source close to the situation tells CNN that Barr has considered stepping down because of President Trump's involvement in Justice Department matters.
I don't know if any of those press reports are true. All I know is what the Department of Justice has said, which is that there are no plans for the Attorney General to leave.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
And earlier this week, more than 2,500 former Justice Department officials who served in Republican and Democratic administrations released a statement calling for Barr to resign. Now let's turn our attention to weather and get another check of it. And Oscar, how's it looking out there this morning?